Good morning, students. So now we are going to discuss the chapter number 8 of chemistry, that is water. So first of all, we will discuss about the introduction related to water. As you all know about it very well, what is the formula of water, what is water, what are the sources of water, and what are the uses of water. But in brief, we will discuss now. So first of all, the formula of water, that is H2O, and this is a compound, and mostly it is present on the earth, and it covers about 3/4 of the earth's surface, and in the human body it constitutes about 7/10 of the bodies and more than 9/10 of fruits and vegetables. So now let's talk about the different states of water. Water is found in 3 different states, that so in the state of solid, liquid and gaseous. That that solid, that is ice; liquid, that is water; gaseous, that is water vapor. So now let's talk about the different uses of water. So water is, first of all, it is used in the domestic purposes like cooking, drinking, washing and bathing. And in the industrial purposes, in the industries for manufacturing the various substances for the various products, the water is used in a large amount. Now next one is in the agriculture purposes, it is also used. And the sources of water. The water is, major source of the water is rainwater. Otherwise, it is also found in the ponds, rivers, lakes, seas, oceans and groundwater. So now let's talk about the main major topic of the chapter, that is water is a universal solvent. Why it is known as universal solvent? Because it helps to dissolve the large number of substances than any other solvent. Due to this property, it helps to the river, because in the river there is large amount of water, and in the river there are large number of salts, and that salts or minerals are dissolved in the water, and afterward they discharged into the seas or oceans. Just because of the universal solvent property, the river helps to dissolve all the salts and minerals into it. Now come to the next topic, how a solute dissolve in water. So first of all, you must know about the solute, solvent and solution. So now come to the solute. In the simple language, I'll tell you. For example, we have one beaker. In the beaker we pour some water, and for making the solution, so here we are going to make sugar solution. For making the solution, we are adding some sugar. So what sugar will be? Sugar will be solute, means the substance which is to be dissolved in the solvent, that is known as solute. So here we are using the sugar. Sugar act as a solute. And what is water? And water act as a solvent. Means the solute is dissolved in a solvent, then it forms a solution. So solute plus solvent is called solution. Now next one is, so before that I'll tell you that these are the molecules of solvent, and these tiny particles are of solute particles, and there is a space between the molecules, and these molecules, the space will be occupied by the sugar molecules, so it will become sugar solution. Now the next one is, why water is superior to other solvents. We have already done that water is a universal solvent. Why it is superior to another solvent? The main property of this answer is, the water helps to fragment. To which thing it helps to fragment? To the solute particles into the molecules. Means water helps to split the solute particles into the molecules or radicals. and water molecules become electrically neutral. Electrically neutral means, so here water is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. So water is electrically neutral because there is a slight positive charge on the hydrogen and slight negative charge on the oxygen atoms. So these opposite charge cancel each other. So what it will become? It will become polar molecule or polar solvent. So due to this property, due to the polarity of the water molecules shows force of attraction. Electrostatic force of attraction for polar solute. So for example, here is water, and water is already polar solvent. So when we will add a solute which is polar solute, polar means which have slight positive or negative charge, then it will become polar. So when we will add polar solute into the water, so what will happen? So the water molecules will attract towards the solute and it form a cage like structure around the solvent. Solute make a cage like structure around the water molecules. So the solute will disappear. It will disappear. So what it form? It forms solution. Because when solute dissolve in solvent, it forms solution. So now the next is, all the salts are made up of radicals. So you must know what are radicals. In the simple language, when we write hydrogen, this is a symbol of hydrogen, this is not the radical of hydrogen. So how it will become radical? When there will be positive or negative ions. So positive ions are known as cations and negative ions are known as anions. So simply it is also known as ions. Collectively it is known as ions or radicals. So all the salts are made up of radicals. All the salts are made up of ions. For example, sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. So first of all you will write its symbol Na. So you must know about its ion, that is Na positive. And sulfate is SO4 negative. So exchange the values, radicals, ions. So it will become Na2SO4. So compound is formed. So all the salts are mostly soluble in the water. So large number of bases are also soluble in the water. And some are polar and some are non-polar. Non-polar means which have no slight positive and negative charge. So there are some polar acids like HCl, because H has positive charge, Cl has negative charge. Now sulfuric acid, in the same way H2 positive and SO4 2 negative, and so on. And you can write also HNO3, that is NO3. Now next one is, so there are large number of organic compounds which are soluble and they are also polar, like acetone, ethyl alcohol, formaldehyde, formic acid, glucose, fructose, sucrose. These all are the organic compound and these are also polar. So you must know about the term polar. Polar means which have slight positive or negative charge. That substance, that thing will become polar. Now next is, there are three types of solution, three type of mixture we will discuss. First one is solution. Solution is a homogeneous mixture of one or more solutes with a solvent. So in the solution, for example, we are adding the sugar and we can also add salt into the solvent. So what it will become? Both solutes will be dissolved in the solvent. So it will become solution. So what will be the definition of the solution? It is the homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means which is dissolved in the solvent, which cannot form separate layers in the solution. And homogeneous mixture of one or more solutes. So these are one or more solutes, sugar and salt, with a solvent, that is known as solution. Solution can be homogeneous, solution can be heterogeneous. Now there are some examples given in your book. Examples of homogeneous mixture are common salt, sugar, copper 2 sulfate, calcium chloride, ammonium chloride with water. So there are two main property of solution are solution is transparent and it can be passed through the filter paper, and size of the solute particle must be very small or less in diameter. So it can be 10 raised to power minus 9 meter or millionth of a millimeter. So this is all about the solution. Solution can be homogeneous, it can be heterogeneous.